There is never any justification for terrorism. And that's especially true after this rampage by Hamas. And anyone who wants lasting peace and security for this region must condemn and isolate Hamas.
The IDF calls for the evacuation of all civilians from Gaza City, from their homes, southwards, for their own safety and protection, and to move to the area south of Wadi Gaza, the river Gaza, as shown on the map.
Every morning we wake up to killings and death. We don't know where to go. We don't know where's safe.
Everybody's hurting. This whole country's hurting. Everybody's connected to somebody that has either been taken as a hostage or was killed.
Well, right now it is Shabbat in Israel. It's supposed to be a day of rest, but there is no rest really for anyone in the Middle East nearly a week into the war.
Israel is calling for mass evacuations from Gaza, telling more than 1 million people in the northern part of the territory to get out. The escalation comes as both countries exchange rocket fire. Now, since the start of the war, more than 2,800 people have been killed on both sides. 27 Americans are dead, and Hamas is claiming that Israeli rocket fire in Gaza killed some 13 hostages. Israel is poised to carry out a ground offensive in Gaza, which would be launched at any time.
CBS News foreign correspondent Imtiaz Tyab joins us now. Imtiaz, the UN says that the sort of mass evacuation from northern Gaza that Israel's calling for is impossible. How are residents expected to get out, and where are they expected to go?
Lana, Michelle, good to be with you. Well, look, the short answer is this is impossible. Gaza's only 25 miles long. It's home to 2 million people. It is one of the most densely populated places on Earth, which has consistently over the last 15 years or so been described as the world's largest open-air prison. The idea that over 1 million people could just get up and move to the other end of Gaza within 24 hours is, as the UN says, impossible. And from what we've been seeing, there have been some people who have started making their way to the southern end of Gaza, where it is less developed and there is perhaps more farm area. But that's about it. There are no resources for them. Israel has blocked Gaza from food, fuel, and water, but the south of the Strip had very little of that to begin with, which is why the UN is also saying that any kind of mass displacement of people would be a humanitarian catastrophe. All of this is happening while Israel is bombing Gaza repeatedly, intensively. In fact, just overnight, there were 750 strikes in Gaza alone, which makes any kind of movement of people impossible. And from what we've been hearing, many of those Palestinians are staying home.
Mass devastation, Imtiaz. So Hamas claims multiple hostages were killed in those Israeli airstrikes in Gaza. What more do we know about that?
Yeah, look, Michelle, I think we will never know. The reality is we look at those images inside Gaza, people are dying. We know over 1,500 Palestinians have been killed in the last 5 days alone. I mean, this is a staggering number of people. We also know that those people who are abducted from inside Israel and taken into Gaza are scattered all across the Gaza Strip. Some of them are believed to be sheltering in houses or some even in underground tunnels. But the short answer is we'll never know, possibly for sure, what was the cause of those deaths. But again, we just have to look at just the situation that's going on there in terms of those strikes. But that, of course, is very small comfort to those people who have loved ones inside Gaza who are desperate for any kind of word. But Hamas has made it clear that it refuses to negotiate with Israel if Israel continues to keep bombarding Gaza without any warning. Guys.
And Imtiaz, on the other side of the country, there have been deadly confrontations in the West Bank as well. What can you tell us about this?
I'm so glad you asked this question, Lana. The occupied West Bank is an area which, up until the horrors that we saw in southern Israel and indeed now in Gaza, is a place which has seen very terrible violence. Over 200 Palestinians have been killed in attacks. This is the largest number of Palestinians killed in decades in the occupied West Bank. And a lot of that violence is between Israeli settlers. As we know, there's huge settlements inside Israel, and the violence between Israeli settlers and Palestinians is only growing. In fact, some of that settler violence leaders here in Israel have described as pogroms, going into Palestinian villages, killing people and committing terrible atrocities. And what we know is that since that horrible and depraved rampage by Hamas in southern Israel, we know that there have been reprisal attacks inside the occupied West Bank, killing over 33 Palestinians since Saturday alone. Lana. Michelle.
Oh, we certainly hope this at some point comes to an end, but it seems as though there is no end in sight. Imtiaz Tyab, thank you so much.